Hello everyone, welcome back to Mama in the Kitchen. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make birthday cake pops. And these are very similar to the ones that you purchased from Starbucks. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to be using to make these cake pops. Over here I have some Easy Thin, and this is a chocolate thinner. So it does make it much easier to dip your cake pops into the chocolate. But if you don't have this, you can definitely go without it. But I'm going to be using just a little bit of it. And then I have some pink food coloring. And then some white vanilla flavored melting wafers. I'm using the Ghirdelli brand. You can use the Wilton brand or any brand that you like, but I like the taste of these. And then I'm also going to be using some cake pop sticks. You can purchase this from any local grocery store. I purchased mine from Amazon. I will leave the link down below for that. And then I have some vanilla frosting. I use the Pillsbury brand, and I'm going to be using 2 tablespoons of that. 1 cake box. I'm using the white cake and it's the Pillsbury brand. And then also some sprinkles. This is a little bit bigger than the Starbucks sprinkles, the white sprinkles, but I couldn't find smaller, so this is what I'm using. And a cake pop stand. You can use styrofoam, a box with holes, anything to stand up your cake pops. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first step is just to bake your cake according to the box. So for this cake, I just added 1/2 cup of canola oil, 3 eggs, and a cup of water. Mixed that in, and then I baked it on 350 for 34 minutes, and then I'm gonna set it aside and let it cool down for about 15 minutes. And once it has cooled down, now I'm gonna go ahead and just cut the edges because I won't be using that for the cake pops, and I'm also gonna be cutting off that top brown part as well. Alright, so after removing most of the golden parts off of the cake, I went ahead and transferred my cake to a bowl. And now I'm going to be crumbling it with my hands. You could do this with a food processor instead, but I'm just going to be using my hands. So you're just going to crumble it until it's very soft. Alright, and this is what the cake looks like after crumbling it with my hands. And now I'm going to go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of the vanilla frosting, and again I'm using the Pillsbury brand. You can use anything that you like or even homemade frosting, but this is what I'm using. So I'm just going to add 2 tablespoons of this, and I'm going to mix it into the cake very well until it becomes into a consistency that you can make a shape out of. So we're going to be making this into balls. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and take 1.5 tablespoons of this cake mixture, and I'm going to form it into a ball. So first I'm going to kind of form it into a ball using my hands, and then I'll be rolling it around without so much pressure so it doesn't crack. So first you're going to go ahead and crumble it kind of into a ball, and then you're going to go ahead and roll it in between your hands, but not with a lot of pressure. Rolling the ball, you want to make sure that there's not big cracks. So if you see big cracks like that, you just want to squeeze them together so that way they don't fall apart when you put the stick in or when you dip them into the chocolate. So you want to make sure there's not any big cracks. So you're just going to roll it until it's nice and smooth. And then I'm going to lay it out on my pan, and I'm going to go ahead and continue to do the rest of them. All right, so I went ahead and rolled out all the balls. So now I'm gonna go ahead and place the sticks in there. So to do that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna melt about 8 pieces of this melting wafers. And I'm gonna place them in the microwave for about 1 minute, and then they'll be a perfect consistency. So I'm just gonna place them in the microwave for a minute, and I'll show you what they look like. So this is what they look like once they're melted. And now I'm going to add just a drop of that pink food coloring because I do want my cake pops to be pink. So I'm going to add 1 drop of that gel food coloring and I'm going to mix it into the chocolate. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and dip my stick into this chocolate, kind of twirl it around, and then I'm going to stick it into the middle of my cake pop, and you want to stick it halfway through. You have to make sure that you stick it deep enough, or else when you dip it into the chocolate later on, it is going to come off the stick. So you want to make sure that you stick it at least halfway through. And then after I put all the sticks in the cake balls, I'm going to put these in the freezer for 5 minutes. All right, and after placing the sticks into the cake, now I'm gonna go ahead and place this in the freezer for 5 minutes. I just took the cake pops out of the freezer and now we're gonna go ahead and dip them into our chocolate. So I went ahead and added the rest of my chocolate into my cup, and I'm gonna microwave this first for 1 minute, and then I'm gonna take it out, give it a mix, and then microwave it again for 30 seconds. So I microwaved it for a minute. Now I'm just giving it a good mix, and then I'm going to put it back in the microwave for another 30 seconds. Right, so I went ahead and microwaved my chocolate for 1 minute and 30 seconds total. I'm just going to mix that in, and then I'm going to add a few drops of the pink food coloring. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and add this easy thin. So you don't wanna add too much. I actually added too much. You only wanna add like maybe 3 to 4 pieces of this, because if you add too much like I did, the chocolate will become a little too thin. So when you dip your cake pops into the chocolate is just going to keep dripping down and it'll take forever to stop dripping. So just add a few of those pieces and mix them in. And now I'm just transferring my chocolate to a more narrow cup so that I can dip my cake pops all the way in. So you're going to dip them down, straight down, and then you're going to dip it where it meets that other pink chocolate. So you don't want to dip it too far where it gets on the stick, but you want to dip it enough where it goes over that pink part. So you're going to dip it down, take it straight back out, up, and then let it drip for a few seconds downwards. And then you're going to flip it to the side like this very slowly, because you don't want your cake pop to drop. And make sure you don't twirl it around, because that's another reason your cake pop can fall into the cup. So don't twirl around, just take it straight up, let it drizzle for a little bit, and then turn it to the side and kind of slowly tap your hand like this. Do not tap the stick onto the cup. So just tap your hand like this for the chocolate to keep dripping down. And once it starts to barely drip, you're gonna twirl it around just a little bit and then place it on your cake pop stand. Or if you're gonna be adding sprinkles, I'll show you how I do that. All right, so once you dip it in the chocolate, you want to let it dry just for like 5 or 6 seconds before you add your sprinkles, because if you add it right away, it's just going to kind of sink into the chocolate. So you want to let it dry just a little bit, like halfway through, but not all the way, because if it dries all the way, you won't be able to add the sprinkles. So you want to let it dry just halfway through and then add your sprinkles, and then you're just going to place it on the cake pop stand. All right, so now all my cake pops are dipped and sprinkled, and now they're ready to eat. Now, if you want to make these for an occasion, you can actually individually wrap each one with the treat bags. They're like clear little plastic bags, and you tie it with a tie. You can purchase those as a set from Amazon. It comes with the cake pop sticks, the bags, and the ties, and I'll go ahead and link that down for you in the description box below. So let's bite into this and see what it's like on the inside. Look at that, so moist and so good. These are so fun to make and super simple, and you can make so much more for your buck than buying each piece for like $3 from Starbucks. So good. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please give me a thumbs up if you did, and thank you for watching.